The PPSH is one of the most beloved guns in Call of Duty Zombies, being the gun with the fastest fire rate, high mobility, and with an enormous magazine size for an SMG. There is no doubt in my mind that the PPSH is one of the weapons of all time. Today, I will take a deep dive into this weapon, looking at it statistically, seeing how good it has been, its nerfs and buffs, and why it will remain as such a fan favorite weapon. The PPSH was released 19th of March 2009 with the Varrock DLC. As a lot of other guns, it was not introduced on Nocturne Toten, which was the first map ever created. However, according to some sources, you could get the PPSH from the mystery box, but only on the iPod and iPhone versions of Nocturne Toten. It's an SMG, the only SMG in fact that can't be bought off the wall, and is only obtainable through the mystery box, and is also the only SMG with a drum roll magazine, which is why it has an astounding 71 bullets in the mag. It's quite effective at killing both zombies and hellhounds, even in the higher rounds, likely due to its ammo capacity and its absolutely insane 1250 firing speed, easily having the highest fire rate out of any World at War gun. And yes, this number gets higher when it's pack-punched, having a 1578 rate of fire after pack-punched, as well as getting the badass name The Reaper, and going from 71 bullets in the mag to 115, with 355 in reserve, buffed up to 700 bullets. That is almost as much as the pack-punched version of the Browning, which is a machine gun. The PPSH is an SMG. And just for the record, no, you shouldn't use a perk like double tap with this gun. But just in case you're curious, if we fuse double tap with the PPSH, we reach an RPM of a broken 1973. With a firing speed that can dwarf the MG42, you can and will easily burn through your magazine like dry paper, as well as shatter through pretty much any zombie that comes in your way. It's no wonder that this weapon quickly became a fan favorite. With a magazine size this high, its fire rate, what more can you have? Well, being a light SMG is going to allow the player to run more faster and more freely than, let's say, a machine gun. So, as if these two qualities weren't good enough, it also lets you move around easily and quickly. And if a zombie is in the way, the high fire rate is likely going to take care of that problem. And even its damage isn't too bad either, doing from 100 to 60 points of damage, and when pack-punched, doing a 150 to 80 damage. So do your best trying to go for headshot with this thing. And even its reload time isn't even that bad. 2.1 seconds to reload and 2.8 seconds if the magazine is completely empty. Which is impressive when the only guns that can compare with the PPSH are two machine guns, with a laughably long time of a reload speed, that is the Browning, of 7.6 seconds, and the MG42 with 4.5 seconds. So in conclusion for World at War, the PPSH-41 is an SMG with an RPM of 1250, 1578 when upgraded, 71 bullets in the mag, 115 when upgraded, 355 in reserve, and 700 in reserve when upgraded. It has a high mobility, outclasses the actual killing machines, can rack up points and kill zombies, and the only downside is that it's only obtainable via the mystery box. Despite being a fan favorite, the PPSH would not be in Black Ops 1, or at least not in Zombies, nor was it in Black Ops 2, but it was introduced on one map in Black Ops 3, that being Gorod Krovi. PPSH-41 would be teased in the trailer. People were more hyped for the PPSH returning than the entirety of Black Ops 4. This video by Mr. T Lexify has almost the same amount of views as the Black Ops 4 multiplayer trailer uploaded by PlayStation. Seeing so many people excited for just one thing returning really goes to show how much love the PPSH was.
Alright, Dempsey, once more for old times.
PPSH! Yeah! I saw the PPSH. Oh, okay. Let's just calm down, alright? Let's just.
More for old
PPSH! The freak. Oh my god! Oh my god!
For old old times.
That was the PPSH! No way, dude, that's gnarly!
The return of the PPSH is probably the most excited the entire zombies community has ever been for a reintroduction for a weapon. In 2016, 12th of July, the map Groddocroby would be released along with the PPSH. After not being included in any other map since Der Ries back in 2009. It had been a long time since player had actually seen this mighty SMG. However, the gun that broke World at War would be in need of a nerf, which we'll get to. There are some things we need to mention. First of all, in Black Ops 3, the double pack punch mechanic would be introduced. This allowed you to turn pretty much any gun into a wonder weapon, as you were able to get weapons off the wall, which thanks to double pack punch can now do an infinite amount of damage. This feature did slightly hurt the economy of the mystery box, as although box weapons are generally stronger than wall weapons, now since every gun can become a wonder weapon, you would obviously want to buy a gun off the wall, since you can just rebuy ammo for it, and not have to rely on max ammos every 5th round. I just wanted to mention this, as although this isn't something that will affect the PPSH too much, it is a notable feature that raised more awareness to the power of wall guns. And still, the PPSH is only a box weapon, not a wall weapon. In terms of just raw statistics, the PPSH from World at War is far better than its Black Ops 3 counterpart, but the weapon was most definitely in need of a great nerf. It boxed out pretty much all the other weapons in the game. It went from being the best to a pretty mid to great weapon. Again, its only downside being it's a box only weapon. Its regular damage output is now 130 to 60 points of damage. When upgraded, it goes up to 190. If you're curious on how much damage this is, to put this into perspective, a single cut with a knife does 150 points of damage. You might think that the damage output of the PPSH is low then, but remember how fast it can shoot. With each bullet doing around 100 points of damage, when not even pack-a-punched, you're likely killing pretty much any zombie that comes in your way. So in terms of damage, it did get a slight buff, with an headshot multiplier of 6.25. But in terms of its rate of fire, it got a huge nerf, going from a minimum of 1250 all the way down to 895 without the inclusion of double tap. This means a pack-a-punch PPSH without double tap 2.0 shoots slower than a normal PPSH from World at War, meaning it no longer has the highest RPM, as that crown now goes to the Vesper, meaning the PPSH is no longer the king of the highest RPM. But you might think, does this change the gun too much? After all, it did get a damage buff. Well, most of the recordings you're seeing is me relying only on the PPSH. And as you can see, I struggle a lot more with quickly disposing of zombies with the Black Ops 3 version of the PPSH, especially compared to its World at War counterpart. So even in my personal experience, I can confirm that the PPSH has indeed been nerfed. It's not even a top tier weapon anymore. The gun was definitely in need of a nerf, but I think it got nerfed a bit too much. Especially when you think about the fact that you can pretty much alter all of the Black Ops 3 guns. Why would you ever use a gun like the PPSH when you have guns like the KN or the Kuda or RK5, which you can pretty much customize to be the best gun in the game? That and the fact that they're off the wall, so you can just rebuy ammo for it, something you can't do with the PPSH. The PPSH would only appear on the map Groddocroby. It wouldn't even be on Revelations, which is kind of ironic since it's pretty much just a mix of all the previous Zombies maps into one. So would this be the end of the PPSH, a broken SMG in World at War, now turning into a mid-tier weapon? Although the PPSH wasn't in Black Ops 4, it would return in Cold War, as it was added along with the Season 3 update. Thing is though, in Black Ops Cold War, the guns have gotten a lot of customization options. Now, I haven't tried out the PPSH in Cold War because you have to do a challenge to have it available to you as a starting weapon. And before you yell, yes, you can get the PPSH from the mystery box, but I have never gotten it before, so sadly, I can't talk from personal experience. But I can give you the stats for the PPSH so we can compare them to its previous versions. Black Ops 3 also had a lot of customizable options, but Cold War took it to the next level, as there's so much more you can do with pretty much any weapon. Stats-wise, with no alternate changes, it has a magazine size of 32 and 288 in reserve, a maximum of 71 bullets with a larger magazine attachment. It has a reload speed of 2.2 seconds, and finally it does 28 points of damage and has an RPM of 909. 28 points of damage is not a lot, with the zombie on round 1 having 150 hit points, but you need to remember that the point system and damage system in Cold War is a bit different. In Black Ops 3, a zombie on round 1 has 150 hit points, and with each round they gain an extra 100 hit points, reaching 950 hit points on round 10. But in Cold War, a zombie on round 1 has 150 hit points, then it gets a bit complicated. From round 2 to 12, it gets an additional 60 hit points between round 2, 3, 4 and so on, up to round 12. At round 13 to 17, they get 100 extra hit points per round. At round 18 to 22, it's 300. It goes on like this until round 55, a maximum hit point stat of 60,250. Now, this information is derived from this chart here. This information is derived from the Steam guide I found. I couldn't find a lot of information about this, so do take it with a grain of salt. Also, do remember that this graph excludes armor. Although I can't speak from personal experience, it seems as the RPM did get a very light buff. I hope this video gave you a good idea of why the PPSH is the way it is, and why it is one of the most beloved guns in zombies. I won't include Vanguard into this analysis because I haven't played it, nor do I plan on playing it anytime soon. This gun has truly had a journey, going from the best gun in the game to being nerfed for Grot Provi and getting a bit of a rework in Cold War, which isn't too surprising as Cold War is a lot more different compared to World at War and Black Ops 3. Thank you for watching this analysis of the most beloved weapon in Call of Duty Zombies. That's all for now, and take care.